Commander Vextai studied the holographic display with growing unease, his 6 eyes focusing on the data streams that had taken his research team decades to decode. The ancient ruins on Kepler 442b had yielded secrets that challenged everything the Galactic Coalition believed about the origins of sentient life. "The carbon dating is conclusive," announced Lieutenant Mordain, her tentacles dancing nervously across the control interface. "These structures predate our oldest civilizations by at least 50,000 years. The archaeological site stretched across continents, revealing a technology so advanced that even the Coalition's most brilliant scientists could barely comprehend its purpose. Crystalline towers that bent spacetime, quantum computers the size of cities, and most disturbing of all, genetic laboratories that showed clear evidence of deliberate biological manipulation." Dr. Cain Rodriguez, the human xenoarchaeologist assigned to the expedition, had been unusually quiet throughout the investigation. While his alien colleagues marveled at the technological wonders, he seemed troubled by something deeper. "There's something you all need to see," Rodriguez said, his voice cutting through the excited chatter of the research team. He activated a secondary display, showing a series of genetic sequences extracted from the site's biological archives. Vextai's mandibles clicked in confusion. "These appear to be templates?" "Not just templates," Rodriguez replied grimly. "Blueprints for creating sentient species across the galaxy." The revelation hit the room like a plasma storm. The Zephyrians, the Crystalline Collective, the Void Dwellers, every known sapient race in the Coalition had their genetic markers present in these ancient files. But there was something else, something that made Rodriguez's hands tremble as he highlighted a particular sequence. "This is the source code," he whispered, "the original template from which all others were derived." The genetic pattern was unmistakably human. Elder scientist Thailmorn, eldest member of the expedition, felt his 3 hearts skip in synchronized terror. "Impossible. Humans are one of the youngest species in the galaxy. Your civilization barely spans 10,000 years. Rodriguez shook his head slowly. "That's what we believed. But these records tell a different story." He pulled up historical data from the archives. 50,000 years ago, humanity reached technological transcendence. They seeded the galaxy with life, creating dozens of species based on their own genetic template, modified for different worlds and conditions. The implications crashed down on the assembled researchers like a collapsing star. The Zephyrians' enhanced intellect, the Crystallines' energy manipulation abilities, the Void Dwellers' quantum consciousness, all variations on human potential, adapted for survival in harsh cosmic environments. "But what happened to them?" Mordain asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why did they regress?" Rodriguez accessed the final data cache, his expression growing darker. "They didn't regress. They chose to forget." The hologram displayed a massive stellar map showing Earth's position. Something was coming. Something so terrible that the ancient humans decided their only hope was to wipe their own memories, reduce themselves to a primitive state, and hide among their own creations. Vextai's compound eyes widened in horror. The Devourers. The cosmic entities that consumed entire star systems, beings of pure entropy that had been mysteriously absent from the galaxy for exactly 50,000 years. According to the archives, the ancient humans had fought them to a standstill, but at a cost too terrible to bear. "They're returning," Rodriguez said, pointing to long-range sensor data that showed reality distortions at the galaxy's edge. The ancient humans programmed a genetic trigger buried deep in human DNA. When the Devourers return, humanity would begin to remember. As if summoned by his words, Rodriguez suddenly gasped, his eyes rolling back as inherited memories flooded his consciousness. Around the galaxy, every human experienced the same awakening, the return of knowledge that had been deliberately suppressed for 50 millennia. The elder species had never left. They had simply been waiting, hidden in plain sight, for the moment when the galaxy would need them most. And that moment had finally arrived.